The mistletoe margarita, the Scrooge driver, the North Pole punch. The holidays call for cocktails, so get everything you'll need for them delivered with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. So
what's it gonna be?
Classics like Bullet Bourbon, Don Julio Reposado, or Kettle One, or maybe something new. Find it all on Drizzly, where you can get beer, wine, and spirits delivered for any holiday festivity. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Mr. Dorfman.
Hello.
0.2. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. Mr. Hoover, president of Delta House. 1.6. 4 C's and an F. A fine example you set. Daniel Simpson Day. Has no grade point average. All courses incomplete. Mr. Blutowski. 0.0.
Hello.
Coming up on this episode of The Commercial Break.
Does you know who I am? I'm Brian Green, Vice President of Miss Tiernan's 4th grade class. I demand an extra Choco Taco. Did you call that a plate of French fries, lunch lady? That's not a plate of French. I'm going to break your knuckles. So the Rainbow Gathering is what it's called. The Rainbow Gathering. So they get together every year. For years and years and years, they've gotten together. And there's thousands of deadheads that go in the woods. But they don't party for a day or a weekend or a week. They party for a month.
Oh, wow.
This goes on for a fucking month. A Rainbow Gathering. I can't believe you've never been to a Rainbow Gathering.
No, I have other things to do inside of
What do you have to
a
do?
whole month. You got to block off a month to storm a national park.
Listen,
Are
it takes
you
them a
sure
while.
you have your
It takes
facts
them a while to
right?
get their shit together. That's all I gotta say. It takes them a while to get their shit together. They show up. They gotta organize.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna shit over to the left. We're gonna pee over to the right. How's that sound? We'll take a vote on it in a couple of hours. I gotta go chill out and think about this, man. Feel like when you get a bottle of wine and they're gonna decanter it,
Right.
you just ask if it's okay. You just pour it over your balls. Do you mind pouring that over my ball?
Yep, good. Let that breathe a little bit. To breathe a little bit more.
The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Now.
That guy's got a $1 million voice.
I love that guy's voice.
Yeah, I think I paid his rent last month.
That's nice of you.
Well, we need a new bumper. You know, I like this guy. I like his voice, but I like the old guy too. Mm-hmm. I felt kind of partial to the old guy, but I like the new guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's actually been some people who have mentioned that maybe the old guy needs to come back.
I think so.
Do you think so?
I really like the old guy too.
Well, now I feel like I'm offending the new guy. Maybe he can do something else for us. Maybe we can find a job for. Maybe we can find a job for him.
It's just business.
He can
New guy.
He can do the bumpers on my brand new podcast, Brian. A podcast. I'm gonna see if I can get some. You know, it's like the guys who are in the band. It's like Mick Jagger, or Eddie Vedder, whoever. You know, they got to go off and they got to do their solo projects, kind of scratch that itch a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do a second. Like you should do a second podcast, and I should do a second podcast. So that, and then we can come.
You go first.
You want me to go? I don't even know what we're talking. We barely have time to do this podcast.
No,
as it is.
why I was saying.
We're sitting here making big plans for the future. We're like, in January, 2 episodes, 1 live show. We're going to take a tour around the country.
Twitch. We're going on Twitch.
We're going on Twitch. We're going on YouTube. We're going to get on Instagram Live. We're going to be in newspapers, magazines. I'm going to carrier pigeon the show over to Russia. Rob is going to write another article about us. Rob, the podcast magazine came out today.
It's so exciting.
It's so exciting. Podcastmagazine.com is where you can go to get a subscription to Podcast Magazine, which sounds, obvious right now. But we have a nice 4-page spread in the Podcast Magazine.
Yes.
And then another couple of Atlanta natives are right behind us, in page order behind us, and that's Ashley Heseltine with her Girls Gotta Eat podcast, which I've listened to and is very funny. And we have some mutual friends, Allison Risk Hair. So go to podcastmagazine.com. You can vote for us on the Hot 50 if you choose to do it. We didn't make it in December, so I guess that means our votes are going toward January. Maybe we didn't make the cutoff or something like that. Or maybe just no one voted for us.
Probably.
I voted for us. Do you think they count my vote? Because it says
I forgot.
It says which podcast would you like to vote for? It says commercial break. And then it says, who's the host? And I put Bryan Green and Krissy Hoadley. And then right below it says, what's your name? And I put Bryan Green and Krissy Hoadley. But it's got to count, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even a presidential candidate is going to vote for himself. That's like rule number one. I ran for like school, I don't know what it was, vice president, secretary. I mean, I don't even know why I did it. Clearly, I was not cut out for any job, any kind of responsibility.
One friend said you should do it,
and
then you did it.
Well, I felt like it would be good. It would raise my profile in the social ladder at the Our Lady of the Assumption School with 16 people in it, right? I felt like I was going to climb the social ladder by being vice president of our class in third fucking grade or fourth grade or whatever it was. So I made the cards and cut out the things and vote for Brian and the whole 9 yards.
Did you put glitter on like a poster board?
Probably not. I'm not. I
remember helping some friends doing that.
Yeah. You didn't run yourself?
I don't remember running myself.
I don't know why, but I feel like in school you would have been the girl who would have run for class president.
No, but I was on like drill team and I was part of part of the school spirit.
You were? Okay. I had zero school spirit and I really didn't give a shit. I just felt like it would be cool. I think in my brain I felt like there was some power associated with school vice president or class vice president. That meant I could do something like give away free lunches, extra Choco Tacos at the end of the night or whatever. So
Don't you know who I am? Yeah.
Don't you know who I am? I'm Bryan Green, vice president of Miss Tiernan's fourth grade class. I demand an extra Choco Taco. Did you call that a plate of French fries, lunch lady? That's not a plate of French. I'm going to break your knuckles. I felt like I would have been a gangster.
School mafia.
I'm gonna smash those fat lunch lady fingers right in your really hoo-hoo if you don't give me some more fucking French fries. Get on it. My dad says I got run for vice president or whatever it is. My dad says one of the few motivational speeches my father gave me. He says, Brian, just remember, always vote for yourself.
Yeah.
Always vote for yourself because you never know. You could be the one vote that makes the determination. Because I felt bad
Why would you vote for someone else?
I felt bad about voting for myself.
Oh.
And there was only 2 of us in the running. I mean, only 2 of us actually got motivated enough to, do a little Hershey Kisses or whatever it was. I lost. I did not win. Oh. And I did not vote for myself. But I'm always left to wonder.
It probably was that one vote.
I know, because there's only 16 kids in the class. So, I mean, I never won any of that. I think in high school I tried again to be like, secretary of the band or something. I think I conceded halfway through the election. I got on the microphone.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm probably going to lose anyway. I was reading this article in BuzzFeed thinking about our situation here in the pandemic. In 1518, Strasbourg, Germany, was hit by a plague, or what they're calling a plague. And that plague was they called it the dancing plague.
You told me it was 1915 earlier.
1915? What?
Okay.
Didn't you think we would have known about that?
1518.
1518. Okay. I was drilling for oil. There wasn't even oil back then. I was drilling for candle wax. 1518, the dancing plague came around Strasbourg, Germany.
Huh.
What happened was that doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists or whatever were around in 18, they all were trying to diagnose these people, hundreds of them, who would just get in the streets day after day, night after night, and they would dance. They would dance themselves silly. They would dance until they died, had heart attacks, strokes, became unconscious. It was a real plague, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out why people were dancing. I mean, I don't even know what music was around in 1518.
Drugs?
It's like a sitar.
Right.
Or one of those, like, calliopes. What is it? Ding, 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 ding,
Definitely
ding.
drums were around. Right?
Yeah, drums were around at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I feel like drums are that's the first instrument.
Yeah.
But I was reading this, and at first I was like, wow, what in the fuck really happened? Is it drugs? Did they get in some kind of hallucinatory mushrooms or food?
Probably.
Was there bad bread? Did they drink, beer that went stale or something and just had some kind of effect on them? But then I was thinking to myself, I have actually been to parties where I think that the dancing thing happened.
Yes.
I think I have seen people die on the dance floor. It's called a widespread panic show.
Right, or a rave. The Electric Ballroom, Knoxville, Tennessee.
The family reunion. What do they call that? What's the big Grateful Dead thing? The rainbow retreat or whatever it is. You know anything about this?
No.
You don't know anything about the rainbow. Okay.
Do tell.
Every year, the Deadheads, they get together. They like storm some kind of national park, right? At Yosemite, whatever it is. They storm it. They get a permit for, like 60 people camping, and then
You're not
thousands
storming
of
if
them.
you get a permit.
If you get a permit for 60 people and you show up with 6,000. Actually, I don't think a Deadhead has ever been accused of storming anything. Hey, man, you know where the riot is? Because, I don't know, I forgot. I was right behind him 1 minute. Then I just did a little dab, and then the next minute, I don't know, it was gone. Can you point me in the direction of the riot, the hootenanny?
A storm.
There's like a bunch of people running around with guns and knives and shooting people. Do you know where they went? Yosemite, that's where they went.
Okay.
But so the Rainbow Gathering is what it's called. The Rainbow Gathering. So they get together every year for years and years and years. They've gotten together, and there's thousands of Deadheads that go in the woods. But they don't party for a day or a weekend or a week. They party for a month.
Oh, wow.
This goes on for a fucking month. A Rainbow Gathering. I can't believe you've never been to a Rainbow Gathering.
No, I have other things to do inside of
What do you have to
a
do?
whole month. You got to block off a month to storm a national park.
Listen,
Are
it takes
you
them a
sure
while.
you have your
It takes
facts
them a while to
right?
get their shit together. That's all I gotta say. It takes them a while to get their shit together. They show up. They gotta organize.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna shit over to the left. We're gonna pee over to the right. How's that sound? We'll take a vote on it in a couple of hours. I gotta go chill out and think about this, man. The Rainbow Gathering.
Okay.
Maybe next year we can do a show live from the Rainbow Gathering.
Awesome.
Well, we'll have a month to figure it out. So yeah. I figured that's what it is. www.tcbpodcast. You never been to a Rainbow Gathering?
No.
I feel like we know people who have been to a Rainbow Gathering.
We surely do.
Surely. Mm-hmm. TCBpodcast.com is where you go. You can read all the show notes. You can find out more about Krissy and I, and you can watch us live on YouTube. All of those videos are up on our page, or there's a link to they're on our page, and then there's a link to the YouTube. You can join the Break Room. What is the Break Room? The Break Room, you get exclusive access to the after show, which is a show that Krissy and I do after every one of these shows. And you're going to find out more information about what's coming up in the future. In January, actually, Krissy and I just had a big...
we have big plans.
What do you think about Tuesday? I don't know. I'm probably sick on Tuesday. How do you feel about Wednesday? Can I get back to you?
I was supposed to go to the grocery store.
But don't worry, we're only getting together for 45 minutes, so coronavirus is... So here's the story. I'll tell it. Okay. All right. I'm going to make fun of myself.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
Krissy wakes up this morning and she says, I'm not feeling 100%. I feel like, I don't know, allergies or something.
I've had this pressure, this sinus pressure.
Me too.
It's been going
yeah,
on.
Me too.
And a little bit of headachy. And with COVID, it's so vague. They're like, if you've got a headache, you could have it.
Yeah.
If you have body aches,
if your eye's twitching,
right?
You're losing eyebrow hair.
Yeah, anything you could have it. And so, of course, and I feel like a lot of people have this problem too, where you're not feeling 100%, and you're like, shit, I might have COVID.
Any ailment is a reason to directly connect it to COVID right now because no one really knows what COVID does. It's like there's a million symptoms.
Some people don't feel anything. And have it, spreading it around.
That's what she said.
Viral loading it all around the place.
That's what she said. So Krissy texts me politely in the morning and says, hey, listen, here's the deal. And I think that we might want to do this remotely. remotely is a different setup here at the studio. And you know how long it only took us 6 months to figure out how to do this. So I said, listen, totally understand. I got the same funk going on, and we think it's just allergies, right? And we're both testing on a frequent basis.
And it was 70 degrees 2 days ago, and now it's
20.
40.
Yeah, it's
20 tonight.
Freezing.
It just said, I just looked at my weather. It said snow in North Georgia. So.
Snow here?
Yeah, in North Georgia.
Okay. But in North Georgia, like north of us?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. I was hoping for a snow day tomorrow, but a snow day really means just the same thing I've been doing every other fucking day of 2020.
Right.
So Krissy says this, and I reply back. I just woken up, and I reply back, because in my brain, I'm like, oh, we really should record together because it'll be hard for me to adjust this. We're recording this on Monday night for a midnight release. And I say, hey, Krissy, listen, totally understand. Why don't we do this? Why don't you just come over and run in for 45
real
minutes?
Quick. Real quick.
Why don't you just run in real quick? Why don't you just run in for 45 minutes real quick and we can record? And that way you won't get the virus.
Stop it right now. You're asking for the virus.
I had so many things to write back. I want to be like, first of all, I don't think time matters. I think it's just exposure.
I don't think coronavirus has any.
And then as well, it's not just a quick run in for 40 minutes. It takes me 40 minutes to get here. And then there's an hour and a half here, then it's 40 minutes back. So... Yeah.
Okay.
I finally was like, I'll just come and we'll talk about it later.
It was a stupid comment. I agree. Okay. It was a stupid comment. I was worried about the prospect of having to set all this shit up again in a different way. So I'm sorry. And thank you for coming. And I'm glad that you feel better.
I hope you don't get COVID.
I hope I don't have it. I hope I don't have it right now. And I'm passing it to you. Let's switch microphones and we'll switch microphones.
We'll try that.
That'll make things
keep
safe.
things sanitary.
Yeah. So anyway, TCB podcast, join the break room. Krissy and I in the new year are going to be doing 2 shows and a live show every single month. And you can get access to that and more information about that as we round the corner, as we round the new year at tcbpodcast.com, at the commercial break, on the socials, and write us an email, info@tcbpodcast.com. Coming up in the new year, we're going to do a segment where we answer your questions because we are internet experts in between the two of us, I've counted 22 degrees, and you name it, we've got it. There's a lot of stuff that we know nothing about.
Certifications.
Certifications. Well. That's right. Certifications. They're like associate degrees. Only I'm more of a smartass about it.
Yes.
They're like associate degrees. Only I know less about it. 100%. Right. Kristen Cavalieri, I want to talk to you about this because, yeah, I don't mean to switch subjects real quick, but Kristen Cavalieri is a girl who was on a show called Laguna Beach.
Oh, I remember that well. That was a hit.
How could you not be taken by Laguna? I mean, I don't even think that I was not its target market.
I don't think so.
When did that come out?
God,
I was saying 2002, like 99, 2000, 2001. Isn't that the time?
I think it was.
I feel like I remember watching that
90s.
around the time of the 9/11 or something.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in my 20s. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it was revolutionary really for the time because they made it. It was a reality, quote unquote, reality show.
But it looked like a movie.
But it looked like it was just, and then it had the scene of the background of Laguna Beach, which is gorgeous. And it was these beautiful high school kids.
Gorgeous.
Rich.
Yeah.
And just they made it that they threw in some drama, people in bikinis and, surfing.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think that feel like that's MTV's reality cocktail is you take rich, white, beautiful people and you throw them in a room with some alcohol and shit's going to happen. It's going to be interesting for everybody to watch.
Yes.
And it was. And it looked like a fucking movie.
It did.
And it was a multi-camera, what they call, multi-camera shoot. So they would go into a restaurant and instead of having just one camera panning back and forth like a lot of these reality shows, there was 7 cameras on them, all these different angles, and they were all it was very
the
cinematic.
Yeah,
it was
the
very
cinematography
cinematic.
Was beautiful.
Everybody remembers Laguna Beach. I mean, come on, you remember Laguna Beach if you don't. I think it's even popular now. Like I think the reruns are online and people watch them.
I would watch it again.
I would watch it again. I went back and watched a couple episodes like 10 years ago, and I was like, "Wow, this is a really fucking interesting show."
Yes.
Because they do nothing, and yet they're so dramatic about nothing. Everything. How is nothing so dramatic?
They were like the housewives before the housewives.
Yeah, but they're teenagers.
Teenagers.
Yeah, drinking and fighting and having sex with each other's cousins.
Yes.
And it was,
Yeah.
Like, okay. So Kristen is one of the breakout stars of the show. Kristen is a gorgeous woman, and LC was the other one.
Yes.
Lauren Conrad was the other one. I
And then Brody Jenner wasn't in it too?
Brody Jenner was in it.
Yeah.
Spencer Pratt. Heidi Pratt.
Now Pratt.
What was her name then? Heidi
Because since she...
Klum?
No.
Did I get that one wrong?
Yeah, I can't remember her former name. But she's married to Spencer
She's
now,
married
right?
to Spencer
And
Pratt,
they stayed together somehow all this time.
So Kristen Cavallari goes on probably to be the most famous of all of the, I mean, Spencer and Heidi, I guess they're famous in some circles, but Kristen she's got her own business line. She's got her own clothing line that's very popular.
She had a show.
She has a television show.
Well, they went on and did even a show after Laguna Beach. There was, was it when they went to college?
The Hills. The Hills. How did I get that right? I am so bad at remembering this stuff, and yet this is the one, it's interesting that this is the one thing that's sticking around my head is The Hills and Laguna Beach. So The Hills, they went on to do The Hills, and Laura and Conrad, and they were all working their way in their business. Like Whitney, whatever her name was a part of that too, the tall one. Mm-hmm. So Kristen goes on to have a very successful career, still a very popular and famous person in some circles, and she has this clothing line. She marries a football player named Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is a quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I think he's still a quarterback for Chicago Bears, isn't he?
Yeah, but wasn't he first with the Cowboys? Or
possibly.
Okay.
I think we should not even venture into sports.
Should.
I think we should stay as far away from sports as possible. Yeah. Talk to me about golf. We can answer those questions, but otherwise, So he becomes a famous quarterback for the, like most quarterbacks are, for the Chicago Bears, and he ends up dating and then getting together with Kristen Cavallari. They marry. They have children, and I say all this because I was reading the most interesting article, very in-depth article on BuzzFeed, hard-hitting journalism.
BuzzFeed just bought Huffington Post, by the way.
They did?
Yeah.
Fuck. Really?
Which was owned by Verizon. So
Huffington Post was owned by Verizon? Yeah. I thought it was owned by Ariana Huffington.
She sold it to Verizon.
She sold it to Verizon? Mm-hmm. I'm getting my news from Verizon?
Yes.
God.
It all makes you think about where you're getting stuff from.
Man, maybe I missed the Q boat. Maybe I should jump on that Q bandwagon. I mean, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I really didn't. Yep. I had no idea. I'm ill-informed in the ways of who owns what media organization or media source. Not that I read the Huffington Post.
There's like 4. Literally.
There's like
4.
Yeah, let's not get into it. Because then we get emails about what idiots we are.
Okay, go on about
Kristen.
Kristen.
Liberal assholes. So I was reading this interesting, hard-hitting, in-depth news article, if you can call it that, about Kristen and Jay. Mm-hmm. Kristen has a television show where they follow her.
So Cavallari.
So Cavallari, which is the worst name in reality television show history, but we'll move on from that. Yeah. She's building a business, an online clothing business. And she has an assistant or a girl that works with her named Shannon. This girl, Shannon, becomes like, there's a bad guy in every television show. There's got to be a bad guy in every television show. And the producers make her the bad guy, this Shannon girl.
Shannon.
Listen, I don't know. I've never watched an episode. I'm just reading the article, right? I'm just telling you literally what the article said. So the article says that Shannon becomes the bad guy on this television show, and she's not very good at her job. And there's a couple of mess ups, like they sent out an email promoting, the big holiday Black Friday stuff, and she forgot to put a link to the actual sale of the actual clothing, which is a pretty big fuck up if you're sending out an email to sell stuff and then people can't figure out where to buy it. But I digress. So there's this big blowout. Jay Cutler is at home on the television show with his wife, Kristen, and they are talking about how this girl just has to be fired. She can be no more because she's completely, fucking up her job, basically. Mm-hmm. And I know what it's like to be completely incompetent. I'll tell you. Oh, maybe that's impotent. I forgot which one it is. Anyway, so they fire her in some big dramatic scene. Well, fast forward 6 months, and Jay and Kristen now announce that they're going to get a divorce. They're going to get separated. Yep. And guess who Jay Cutler is tweeting about and Instagramming with in the most shitty and vile of fucking ways. I mean, in the most, clearly...
Like they're hooking up?
Not hooking up, but it's clear that that's what they're insinuating. It would be it's an Instagram video where Shannon they're all at a restaurant with some friends, and Shannon has got, she's doing the selfie video, and then Jay just kind of pops into the video, and Shannon gives the look that's directly at Kristen, fuck you, got your man, right?
Right. Ooh.
I was taken by this. I found myself all wrapped up in this fucking article about nothing important.
That's what BuzzFeed does.
I know. That's what BuzzFeed does. They take unimportant shit and they make it important.
I read it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't read it a lot. I haven't read it in many years, but I just decided, let me pop on BuzzFeed and see what's going on.
It's called clickbait.
It is called clickbait, and that was clickbait. And I cannot believe, so it got me wondering. Have you ever done anything specifically to get back at your ex? Like, has there ever been a revenge tactic? You've done something shitty just to kind of flaunt it in your ex's face. Get back at your ex. No?
No, I like to move on.
This conversation went quickly nowhere.
I'm sorry.
Well, folks, that's the show. Thanks for...
When I'm done, I'm done.
You don't...
And I
nothing,
move on.
ever.
No, I don't waste my
You don't
energy.
like put little Facebook posts and make them public on accident? No? Nothing like that? No. You don't accidentally text them, meet you there. Yeah. Sounds great. I'll be there at 8, something like that.
No, but that's a good one.
Wow, you look hot. Here's a picture of my dick.
I definitely have never done that one.
You've never done the here's an extra picture of my dick? No. In the history of my life, I have never ever sent an unsolicited dick pic ever. And
that's good.
Never.
I'm glad to hear that, Brian.
But guys do it all the time. It's a thing.
Just like, oop, here it is. Boom.
Yeah, boom. They slide into your DMs.
Is it clickbait?
It's dick bait.
Like, here,
it's dick bait.
Click on it if you like it.
Yeah, click on it if you like it.
Yeah. Respond to me if you like it.
This is what I'm hearing. This is the word on the street. And you can email us and correct me if I'm wrong. I know you have stories about that. The word on this street that I live on here, this tough, rough Atlanta neighborhood street, where all the shit goes down, right here in north of Atlanta,
suburban.
That's right. Average age 48. The word on the street is that on plenty o fishes or plenty o bitches or Tinder, Flinder, whatever you're using.
Yeah. Flounder.
The word on the street is that the thing to do is that you start communicating with a woman and then you slide a dick pic in there. Just, I guess, to kind of cut to the chase.
Yeah, it is. Real.
But never in my
slicing.
life. Have I sent an unsolicited dick pic.
That's good.
I have gotten some unsolicited dick pics in my life, though. I once dated a girl, and it was like, I don't know, Friday night, right? I think you know the woman, but I won't mention her name online. I'll tell you. I'm going to go on. Friday night, hanging out. It's like 7 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, pictures of Ching Chang and Choo Cha just start showing up all over the place. I mean, it's like pussy galore, right? It's just I don't know what's going on.
I feel like guys are a little bit more receptive to that, though.
It never, in our entire friendship, relationship, dating, nothing. It had never happened.
Oh.
It had never happened. There had never even been, not even a woof of a pooty pic. Nothing, right? Then all of a sudden, a barrage of pussy pics.
Alcohol.
Exactly. So there's about, I want to say between 10 and 15 of these come by in different variations and pictures and objects. And
well, then you got to respond or leave her hanging.
That's it. So now I'm with a group of people. We're having dinner at this place outdoor in a patio. And it's like, ding, ding. Wow. Ding, ding. Holy shit. Ding, ding. Is that a ding, ding? Can you do that with tongs? And I'm like, and so my friends are, what's going on over there? No, nothing. And then she's like, dick pic? Question mark. And I had to say no. Like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And the embarrassment I must have brought upon this woman who was quite shy, had never even, nothing like that. Nothing had ever indicated that this would be
she was going out on a limb.
She was going out on a limb. Just going for it 100%. Yeah. And I had to say, no, I can't.
Yeah, I would think that you at least have to kind of preface that by getting a little conversation going. Like, hey, what are you up to tonight? Oh, you're out to dinner? Let's talk later. Or,
that's right.
Oh, you're at home? Then that's when the slide happens. Ding, ding, ding.
I feel like we should have prepared for this a little bit better. I feel like if we had communicated, you're right. If we had communicated earlier, I'm going to go out for a few drinks. Sounds great. What are you doing later? I'm going to go out to dinner with some friends. when you get home, you let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some presents
Text
for you.
me
Yeah.
when you get home.
I got some presents for you. Make sure you're alone. You know, throw your phone up on the ITV.
Yes.
And
Mirror.
let's get at it. But instead, what she got was no. And for a whole day, she didn't respond to my text messages after that. For a whole day. I think she was like the combination of like embarrassed, hungover.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
But
Denial.
Then I also I
I
never
did not do that.
I did not do this. This was not me. This is my sister. She is a bitch. I just want to show you what she's doing. When I have never sent when I got home, I still didn't send the dick pic.
I feel like when you look at me, I look at the camera.
How we doing, Astrid? How are things going? We have this whole setup for YouTube, which you can go to tcbpodcast.com. Just told you, go to tcbpodcast.com and you can watch the show. And we're just getting used to recording inside of the studio, which is a whole different vibe than recording online. Am I right?
Yes.
It's a whole different vibe. And one of the vibes is that we were looking at each other the entire time before. And now we've got a couple of different problems that have arisen. There's a monitor behind us that is recording all of this, like screen recording in a TV software, and it's showing us. So the predilection, the natural inclination is to look there because there you are. It's like a selfie. You're looking at you want to make sure that you look good, that your glasses didn't fall, that my dick's not hanging out of my pants. I didn't have Hoadley didn't have a Janet Jackson moment over here. Right. And so over the last couple of weeks, we've been kind of fine tuning it. And Astrid, our executive producer, and Gustavo say, Bryan, you have to start looking at the camera. It's clear that you're looking at something off camera, and it's so distracting. So now I'm having a really hard time doing this. But now Krissy and I were sitting side by side.
Well, because we want to look at each other.
Yeah, we want to look at each other. But
now,
then,
too.
It's like
I'm looking next to me, then I'm looking at the camera, then I'm looking at the monitor. Where do I look?
It's like a Three Stooges routine. Hey, Mo, look over here. I did it right. We're going to get there.
We are.
Yeah, we're going to get there. So never in my life sent it on, and not even when I got home did I even send her that dick pic. That I just felt like
the moment passed.
Yeah, it passed. And also at that, I actually never sent any, I've never sent any kind of nudes or photographs until very, very recently with my wife, because I was always afraid that they would get
right.
them. I was always afraid that people would find out what I'm working with. Wow, did you see Bryan? It's that's not good. That is not good. Speaking of dick pics, I was online. Actually, I was online, but before I was online, I was listening to Howard Stern.
He's a classic.
Classic.
Did you read his book? His latest book? It's really good.
It's really good. We're waiting for we've sent him an invitation to come on the show, and we're waiting for him to say yes or no. I feel like it's going to be yes.
It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Let's go with Trump's theory. Round in the corner.
Round in the corner.
Gonna go
massive fraud. Massive. I got 950 million votes. So I was listening to Stern. I think it was a replay, and I heard one of the guys on there, Sal, was talking about how he was dipping his balls in soy sauce. Now, I didn't catch the whole episode. I just caught a little bit of it. And so I got home and I was like, why is Sal dipping his balls in soy sauce? And he mentioned that people are doing this all over the internet. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
People are dipping their balls in soy sauce.
So 2020.
It's classic 2020. Classic. Apparently a researcher somewhere in Europe put out an article, and in that article it stated that men have taste receptors on their balls, on their testes. So somebody read this medical research and decided that they were going to take it 100%. They were going to go hard on this, right? And I don't mean go hard with their dicks. I mean just go hard. Yeah. And they figured out that, soy sauce is so salty. If I'm going to taste something, I would taste salt with the soy sauce. So
they're tasting it on their tongue from their balls? Or is this just
they're tasting it.
It's mental.
Well, I guess you taste it on your balls, and then listen. It's a little known fact that your testicles are the seventh sense that you use to eat. There's your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and your testes. It's the taste bud testes, right? And so what I often do is when the meal comes, let's say, what do you like? You like to cook, Jeff, a good pork loin, right?
I'm thinking of it more as like a good bottle of wine. I like to open that up.
Did you know you can drink through your anus?
Oh God.
You can get drunk through your anus? That's a true story.
I think I have heard stories about that. But jeez.
Well, I've heard lots of cocaine stories.
Yeah, that was about to say.
Yeah. So let's say you bring a pork loin to the table, right? If I want to enjoy the whole meal, 100% in its complexity, I have to dip my balls on the pork loin.
To.
What do you have, a nice white wine sauce with that? So instead of making a big scene with the pork loin at the table, what I would do is I would ask for a little sample of the sauce on the side, and then just very politely.
In a ramekin?
I'm thinking about what's going to happen in the future as we learn and develop the testy taste buds.
Okay.
So I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to order a pork loin with white wine sauce. And you're going to say, can I please have a testy taste? Can I have a little?
I like it.
Can I have a little testy taste? A little tea taste? Can I have a little tea taste? Do you mind?
A little tea.
Yeah. And the waiter is going to go, of course, sir. I'll bring that right away. And I'll say, thank you very much. And he'll be like, Mr. Green, your tea taste. Thank you. And what I'll do is there'll be a little pocket right under your balls, and you'll zip it, and the balls will fall out, and you'll take your little cut. Your
Splash.
Yeah, it'll be like.
Boom.
Plunk. I feel like it'll be a little cup with two circles, and then you'll just kind of bloop bloop.
That's good.
And then you'll tell the rest of the table.
That
You'll say,
sucks.
You'll say, this is great pork loin. You guys should order it. It's fantastic. I can
pass the testes taste test.
The testes taste test. The taste test of the testes. I feel like you could do the same thing with the wine, right? When they
I think this is definitely a niche product. You know, they always say to invent something, you make a lot of money from starting
the two little cups that you just put under the table.
Of it,
yeah,
like the testy diaper flap.
Yeah, I feel like
jeans, the whole thing, the ball ramekin.
I feel like when you get a bottle of wine and they're going to decanter it,
Right.
You just ask if it's okay if you just pour it over your balls. Do you mind pouring that over my ball?
Yep, good. Let that breathe a little bit. It needs to breathe a little bit more.
Do you mind? Brian, why don't you order the bottle of wine? Thank you. Thank you. I think I'll have the 1922 Chateau Marmont. Fine choice, sir. Would you please? Would you please bring the decanter with room for my balls? Bring the nut canter, please. Thank you very much. Bring the decanter, and by decanter I mean decanter. The decanter.
The tea canter.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay, sir, you're a 1929 Chateau Marmont.
Fine choice.
Fine.
Excellent. That's an excellent year.
But sir, may I say your balls are smooth and pleasant.
Your balls have exquisite taste.
Your balls know a great wine when they taste one. I don't even know that anybody can hear what we're saying because we laugh so hard. I'm crying. I'm literally crying because I can see my balls in the decanter. You have exceptional taste, sir.
Your balls,
don't mind if I do.
Your testes have exceptional taste.
Exceptional. I feel like
they can taste things sometimes that your tongue can't.
That's right. I get a hint of floral in there. I get a hint of floral right in my scrot. I feel like I'm getting a hint of scrotal floral notes. Oh, sir. I feel like I'm getting a hint of taint. I feel like I'm getting a tint of taint in there. Just a little bit of tint of taint. Sir. Such a fine taster. You're correct, sir. I feel like there's going to be sommeliers. There's going to be ball sommeliers.
Yes.
Excuse me. I'm here looking at the wine list, and I was just wondering, do you have a scrote sommelier here?
I'm gonna need to
We
talk
do.
to
Let
them.
me go get Steve real quick. Hi, everybody. Well, hi. My name's Steve. I'm the first certified scrote taster. Yes, we're really thinking about having the pork loin tonight. We were wondering if you could recommend a good wine that would be
For my scrotum?
that would run easy over the balls. Well, I sure am glad you came over. Now, let me tell you, the 1925 Chateau Marmont has a tint of taint. But if you really want to go with something nutty, you want to go with the Silver Oak 22. Oh, yes, let's taste the 22. Do you mind if I taste it with my scrote? Do you mind if I give my scrote a splash? Oh, my God.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's a thing.
Mark our words.
Mark our words. It's a thing. I have to compose myself for a second. I have not laughed that hard in a week. Every time we get together, something super funny comes out of it. And I hope it's as funny to the people out there as it is to us, because I'm literally crying. So I get online and I realize that people are actually doing this. They're actually sticking their balls in soy sauce.
Okay.
And some guys are claiming that they actually are tasting it. Like, I don't know if they're tasting it in their mouth. Or they're
Well,
just
that's what I was saying. Where are they tasting?
So I look further into this because I'm like, this isn't a thing.
You
like,
tried it.
You know,
You
I didn't.
tried
I don't have time for all that kind of shit. My balls are too low. I'd have to put the cup on the floor and like run by and let them drag it. I'd have to kind of like water ski my balls across the soy sauce.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings. How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
Whatever kind of night you're having, start it off right with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. Whether you're mixing up a bullet bourbon old-fashioned for a cozy night in, or a Kettle One Bloody Mary bar for a birthday brunch, you can get the perfect beer, wine, and spirits for any occasion delivered with Drizzly. So, what's it gonna be? Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com to choose your drinks today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Shine my shoes while I'm at it. So I look into this and I'm like, this is not true. No one wrote an article about being able to taste stuff with your scrotum. But yes, they did write an article about not being able to taste stuff with your scrotum, but that there are taste receptacles. There are nerves that can taste, like nerve endings in different parts of your body. Mm-hmm. But they don't have taste buds. And taste buds are the things that actually make you taste. Mm-hmm. So it is indeed bullshit. There are no taste buds in your testicles. So just stop it. But there are a lot of videos out there if you're so inclined, if you want to.
I'm okay.
If you don't think you don't think that's anything that you want to get into?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe if I get really bored. That's next week.
I feel like one night you're going to catch Jeff with his balls in the soy sauce.
I'm good if he tries it.
Tell your story about, Hoadley was telling me a story off air about she was over at her dad's house this last weekend. Tell your story about
gosh.
Jeff getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me preface it by saying that my parents' house is this kind of weird vortex. It's almost like a casino. It's not a casino, but it's on this hill and there's a porch in the back. And I don't know, you can't really tell what time it is for some reason there. You know it's dark or you know it's light. But other than that,
It's like a casino.
You're hanging out, drinking, having drinks, talking, getting together. I mean, it's always very jovial and fun. We're watching movies.
It's a good vibe over there.
It's a great vibe.
Good vibe.
And so the vibe usually just kind of continues on. Maybe a little bit past where you should. And it was Thanksgiving.
But I can understand because you're with family.
Yeah.
You're having fun.
You're safe
place. You don't have to drive anywhere. You
You've
don't
got
have to
on
go anywhere.
comfortable pajamas.
Yeah, you're in your PJ.
stuff.
There's no pretense. There's no nothing. You're just there having a good time.
Yeah. So it was Thanksgiving.
And you have to know these people. Like Papa Joe, who's her grandfather.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell this story real quick before you finish with this story. I one time went to the company Christmas party for Hoadley's
That's right.
grandfather.
You did go as my date that year.
I went as Krissy's date. To be clear, Krissy and I were not dating. I went as a date,
my
as a friend
+1.
date. Yeah, +1. And I feel like I need to make that clear with everybody. Like, we're doing an
always
interview
have.
for Podcast Magazine. It's like, so how long you guys been a couple? I'm a couple. I'm not a couple. Just because we're friends doesn't. Anyway, so she takes me to this Christmas party for her grandfather's business.
Yeah.
And her grandfather is probably 83 at the time. How old do you think he is?
Yeah,
Probably
no,
83.
He's 88 now.
Oh, he's
That
88.
was probably
yeah,
5
7 years ago. So
Yeah,
81 or 82 years
In
old.
his 80s, for
In his
sure.
80s, for sure. And this rock star motherfucker brings a woman, a beautiful African-American. I mean, this woman was smoking hot.
Yeah.
That is half his fucking age to the party because they were a couple. Not because, but here's the thing, is that in my time of knowing Chrissy Hoadley and Papa Joe, this is like the 7th woman, that hot 30, 40-year-old woman.
He's got that knack. He's got
He
that
does.
charisma.
Yeah.
And he's a gentleman.
He would not be afraid to Canter a wine, I'll tell you that right now.
He'd have something funny to say
He is
about
the most interesting man in the world. Your grandfather is.
Oh, yeah,
for
he
sure.
had me out on the dance floor that night. He was spinning
You around.
Spinning me around, dancing.
Oh, what a great time. I was dancing with your mom. That was a great time. But so anyway, so you have to know that this is like the general attitude and atmosphere of this house. It's not
fun.
like parent-kid relationship. It's like everyone's there having a good
It's like
time.
you've known everybody your whole life because you have. You're just having a good
Because
time.
one of them gave birth to you. That's right.
Hanging out. Oh, yeah. So this year was no different. So we dipped into the bourbon a little bit and
Don't mind if I do.
we had this amazing pie. And it was this pumpkin cheesecake pie. It was ridiculous. It was illegal. I think it was illegal. It's illegal pie.
I'm such a big fan of cheesecake.
Oh my, and cheesecake and the pumpkin cheese. Oh, it was so good. So, Thanksgiving, we ate around 4 that day. And then you just you dip in
get
the
into it.
leftovers as the night goes on. You're taking a little turkey, getting a little cranberry, a little stuffing, a little pie. So Jeff and my dad goes to bed. He had to get up early. So Papa Joe goes
Okay, so
to
everybody's sleeping in the house. Except for you and Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Jeff.
So we're upstairs and we're kind of continued on our party where he's talking to a friend. I'm talking to my sister who couldn't be there this year. And so,
Okay, so you're upstairs, and
we're
is your dad
upstairs.
downstairs?
My dad's downstairs.
Dad's downstairs, sleeping in his room.
Sleeping in his
Okay,
room.
Gotcha.
We've got 3 dogs, mind
Okay.
you. So the dogs kind of have to go out, throughout the evening. So I go.
Fuckers.
So Jeff goes, I'm going to go downstairs and get some water. And I said,
Fire request.
no, you're not. I brought up a couple of waters here and put them next to your side of the bed. I was like, you're not going down there to get water. You're going down to get there some more bourbon, aren't you?
Oh.
He goes, well, okay, yeah, I am. So he goes downstairs, and while he's downstairs, I think I'm finished my conversation with Kelly. I'm talking to my sister, hang up.
Yep.
Jeff all of a sudden hightails it back up to the room and says, oh my God, your dad. I was just down there, and he likes to wear his headphones and like rock out to music. So he was down there dipping his
Jeff
hand.
does. Jeff's got his hand.
Jeff goes bebopping down the stairs with his headphones on and goes straight to the refrigerator, thinking my dad is asleep. Goes to the refrigerator, opens it up, is like scooping out, spoonfuls of this.
Oh my God, eating it right out of the thing?
Yeah. Scooping, taking a big scoop of pie. And he closes the door and he's listening to music. He doesn't hear my dad has come out of his room to go let the dogs out.
Guess who?
Jeff says he closed the door to the refrigerator, and there's my dad standing there going, Jeff, trying to talk to him. Like, Jeff, he thought Jeff was sleepwalking. Jeff said he just slammed the door and ran back upstairs. He got scared. I don't know.
He's scared. Oh my God, I could see Jeff. I could see your father with no shirt on. I could see Jeff rocking out.
No, and then let me continue by saying this. So that didn't end things. Jeff gets upstairs. I'm like, what do you mean? Did you wake my dad up? No. Oh, no. And so Jeff and I are kind of like, and I'm like, we just need to stop drinking and go to bed.
Yeah.
So we go to bed, wake up the next morning. Jeff's like, where's my phone? And I don't know.
In the cheesecake.
I don't know. So I'm trying to call it. Well, we searched the whole entire upstairs for the phone. For like an hour, we searched for the phone. We're trying to call it. It's dead. So we can find it.
So wait, so he brought the phone downstairs?
So he brought the phone downstairs. In the end, we figured out the phone was downstairs. It's dead. His Apple Watch, dead. His headphones, dead.
All downstairs? He just what did he do? He stripped?
He left everything.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I so relate to this. Because I don't even know what episode it was at this point, maybe number 3, 4, 7, whatever it was. I told the story how I was at my dad's house. And ever since I've been a child, I have had a fear of getting caught eating late at night. Because that's the kind of household that we lived in, right?
Yeah.
It was not something, it's not that it wasn't permitted, it's that you would get ball busted about it, right? Like, who ate all the Cheetos last night? How many Nutter Butters do I have to buy every week in order to satisfy the hunger of you fucking idiots, right? And my dad,
I'm sure with 4 boys.
I know.
You guys were mowing through food.
Mowing through food. And we would be eating everything. So when I started, when I started the experimentation part of my life, when I was smoking a little bit of weed here and there, what I really liked to do was something sweet and something salty, something chocolatey, something salty. I'd have a whole fucking bag of Lay's with a whole box of Nutter Butters in a night. I just watching court TV, O.J. Simpson trial. Right, and then the next morning there'd be holy hell to pay because where did the Nutter Butters go?
Right, I want a chip.
I don't know. Talk to Kevin. Husband Kevin. You know that Kevin. But clearly it was me because I had a back entrance to the stairs. So I know that feeling of getting caught, and it still persists to this day. Even though my father is a completely different human being, I wouldn't give one rat's fucking to patoot if I was upstairs eating something. Every time I go upstairs in his house. There's the guest rooms are downstairs and they're on the main floor. And every time I go up there, I'm like, I revert back to a 13-year-old child, just like, and if the light goes on, if I hear my father, I'm like, bye bye. I relate to this. It's food. It's upset. I don't know what it is. It's like a food. It's like a PTSD around food or something like that. And still to this day, it persists in my own house. I feel like sometimes I'm sneaking around getting food in my own house. I'm going to have some ice cream. I hope Aster doesn't see. What kind of example am I setting for my children? I need a therapist. Oh my God. Well, listen. So my question is okay. So good story. What did your dad? You're welcome. What did your dad say the next morning? Was there any conversation about?
No, the reason that he had to go to bed was because he had to get up early and go to work. He's a sweetheart. He's getting ready to retire, and so he'd let all his people below him. He's a manager and let all the people below him.
Oh, he let them have the day off.
Let them have the day off. So he was working the next day.
Guy. Your dad's a nice guy.
He's a super nice guy.
Always liked your father.
He's
always
the
liked
best.
Papa Joe.
He's great.
Yeah.
But then Papa Joe, well, my dad's dad, David, and then Papa Joe. But Papa Joe was there, and he was up, and he told us that my dad told him about it, and that he thought that Jeff was sleepwalking.
The one, I went over there a couple times. Like, you know.
I also broke my toe that evening.
You broke your toe?
My dad wanted me to help put up the Christmas tree. And so, once again.
Is your toe broken?
There's a little tiny bone, I think, that's broken.
Oh, my God. That fucking hurts, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I know. Yeah. I was putting up the Christmas tree, tripped over the dog gate. Once again, the dogs.
Fucking dogs, man. Let me tell you something about dogs. No matter how much my son and my daughter beg me for another fucking dog, I'm not getting another fucking dog. Not because I don't love dogs. I love dogs. I will support the ASPCA till the day that I die or whatever no-kill animal shelters out there. And I hope that everyone adopts as many animals as possible. Yes. But dogs with children, yappy dogs, yappy small little dogs with children.
Oh, yappy ones too.
It's too much. It's too much. Every time Hoadley comes into my house.
Jeff goes, that's like dog birth control. Dog control.
Dog control. Birth control for dogs. I'm not getting another dog. It's not going to happen. Now, when Astrid and I retire, then maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so, when I come over to the house, Blue goes nuts.
Blue goes nuts when she comes over to the house. I mean, Blue goes nuts about everything. Don't mistake, that just this one time when Hoadley comes over, the dog goes nuts. Blue barks at everything. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have tried everything except for getting her vocal cords removed, which was suggested to us, but obviously is extremely inhumane.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get
No.
I've heard dogs with their vocal cords removed. You've heard them. Like, ow,
it's
ow,
weird.
Ow,
no,
ow.
Yeah.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. No way. I'm not. And listen, I made a promise to the dog. I made a deal with the dog.
Deal with the dog.
You're mine. I'll take care of you until whenever you kick the bucket, and then And I love her. I make it sound like I don't like the dogs. I really do love the dogs, but I'm not getting any more.
No,
this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
The one time I went over to your house, I'll just tell this really quickly. The one time I went over to your grandfather's house, Papa Joe. I think it was Super Bowl, actually. I think it was Super Bowl Sunday. I think
you're right.
And we all were there and having a great time and drinking and partying.
Yeah.
And you went to bed at some point. You went upstairs, and I was sleeping downstairs in one of the guest bedrooms. And so you said, "Okay, I got to go to bed, and I'm going to go to sleep." Yep. Okay, no problem. And me and Papa Joe were up. And Papa Joe was sitting laying in the recliner, sitting in the lazy boy, right? I wasn't down there. Hoadley wasn't gone. Papa Joe's awake talking to me right before Krissy says goodnight. I wasn't downstairs for 16 and a half fucking seconds, and I look over, and Papa Joe has got his cup and I was like, well, time to go to bed. I guess it's time to go to bed. It's that kind of house. You're so chill. We didn't have time for podcast. We didn't have time for Henry Fonda's marriage advice. Henry Fonda wanted to come on and do a whole thing about marriage advice that he has for you.
After show.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's save it for the next episode because I think it's a little bit longer than an after show.
Okay.
It's a little bit more than an after show.
But you should still join the after show.
Yeah, you still join the after show. TCBpodcast.com is where you go to join the after show. You can find out more about Krissy and I. You can drop us a line, info@tcbpodcast.com. Join the break room. Watch us on YouTube, all that other good stuff. Follow us on the socials. In January, Krissy and I will start doing 2 shows a week. One that will broadcast on regular podcast channels, one that will broadcast on another separate channel. For more information on how to become part of that second show or how to listen to that second show, go to tcbpodcast.com.
You can be a part of it too.
You can be a part of it too. We'd love to have people on. We're actually getting a phone line, by the way.
Okay.
And we'll let people know when we're recording. I think that's going to be super cool. I think we're going to get a lot of fucking idiots coming out of the woodwork yelling at us.
I love it.
And in addition to that, we're going to do one live show every month on Twitch and YouTube, streaming on YouTube. So stay tuned. Join us on the break room so you can be kept up to date on all of that. And you know what? That's all I got to say.
We love you.
We love you. I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings. How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
The mistletoe margarita, the Scrooge driver, the North Pole punch. The holidays call for cocktails, so get everything you'll need for them delivered with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. So
what's it gonna be?
Classics like Bullet Bourbon, Don Julio Reposado, or Kettle One, or maybe something new. Find it all on Drizzly, where you can get beer, wine, and spirits delivered for any holiday festivity. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
To get access to the commercial break after show, go to tcbpodcast.com and join the break room. You'll get access to the after show, YouTube extras, live shows, and much more. Follow @The Commercial Break on Instagram and Facebook. It's that squiggly little email thing, @The Commercial Break. The Commercial Break is written and produced by Brian Green, co-hosted by Chrissy Hoadley. We are available on most podcast providers. Tune us in and ride it out.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
Looking for a new career? Welcome to Do HVAC Training Service Center in North Charleston. Enroll today in our comprehensive HVAC training hands-on field experience-based program, covering troubleshooting, maintenance, installation, and more on various HVAC systems and ductwork. We offer EPA and NAEP preparation and testing, along with various certifications. Enjoy payment options. Achieve certification in under 5 months. Enroll now for your new journey of skill development and career advancement. Log on to DEWHVACTrainingSC.com to inquire.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.